We're back with AFCON 2025 again, and we're going to be previewing the quarterfinal games. And today we're going to be starting with Mali versus Senegal. With me here to discuss that is Mustafa Jinodu and Segodi. My name is Stila Falabi. Welcome to the show.
All right, so we've got two very tough teams from West Africa. You've got the high-flying attacking act of Senegal, also with a solid defense, not to be confused if you think that they're not solid in defense. And with their midfield is not that strong, but this team is always going to be in transition. They're always going to be making runs, playing their Brazilian flair of football. Then you've got Mali, which sits back a little bit and has a very good press, a strong midfield, very good counterattack. And coming forward, they bring numbers and forward. The only problem they have is that they don't have finishing. And I think that's going to be the difference. It's going to be two things. Senegal's fluid play is going to push Mali to its limit. And I think that is going to push them to the limit at which they can score a goal. Definitely, I don't think they're going to score a lot on Mali, but because they keep on coming in waves and waves, and because Mane is able to play in the midfield, he can play on any wing, he's going to find creative ways to continue bringing in forward play. And Mali can meet that challenge, but the question is, can they hold them out for 90 minutes? The second question is, what can Mali do, given the fact that they're not the greatest finishers, but they do have a good attack? So I'm going to say that Mali also is dangerous a little bit because we know that Senegal is susceptible to the counterattack. Mali doesn't tend to play off of counterattack. They tend to get the ball from the midfield and then try to go forward. But I still think that they're going to be dangerous. So it's going to be a close call game, but I'm going to give it to Senegal 2-1. What are your thoughts, Falabi?
Yeah, I quite agree with you. 2-1 is, in fact, the scoreline that came to mind when I was researching this game. And the reason is very simple. Mali has been very, very stubborn and doggedly frustrating in this competition. You know, they've qualified for the quarterfinals now without winning a game in open play. The only game they won it in on penalties. And in the first round, they drew all their games. So they're a very, very stubborn side. They defend with 5 at the back. And I guess that's what they're going to do with their physicality against Senegal. They're going to pack the middle of the pack and ensure that they know Senegal like to play with space. So they're not going to give Senegal the kind of space they need to play. They're going to force Senegal to play from the wings. So Senegal now has to play quicker and faster and see how they can create overloads and stretch the defense of the Malians. And then the areas where Senegal too need to be careful are half chances and set pieces and stuff like that. That's the only place I feel they can actually affect the Senegalese team. Basically,
I was confusing Senegal with Cameroon. Cameroon would be the type of team that would put some offensive pressure on Senegal, but not Mali. But Mali, we've seen even when they do put pressures on, when they bring numbers forward and they have opportunities, it's very difficult for those guys to finish. So you're right, set pieces and things like that. Watch out for penalties too. Yeah, what are your thoughts, Segodi?
No, I think it's going to be a very difficult game for both teams because if you see these teams physically, they match each other. And Mali is a very defensive team. They can defend. But I see Senegal winning 2-0 in this game because if you look at Mali, they don't have that explosive counter-attack. Because in order to catch Senegal on a counter-attack, you need to be very, very explosive up front. You need to be very fast and having people who can really finish. But if you see the attack of Senegal, they are very, very, very good. They'll finish because the problem with Mali, they'll want to go with Senegal man-to-man. And once you go man-to-man with Senegal, you're going to struggle because they're very good, those guys.
Yeah, but so Mali sometimes they play zonal, don't they? They play more zonal, don't structurally in midfield, don't they?
But because of the quality of the Senegalese team, they might want to go one for each player, perhaps.
That'll be a very big mistake, man. Yeah.
Because
they may not have a choice. Yeah, they may not have a choice. Yeah.
I think because these are two West African countries, it's sort of like a West African derby, French-speaking derby. They have that thing, even though they know Senegal is better than them, but they have that thing of, no, Senegal, we can take Senegal on, like we can show people that we can beat Senegal. That's the thing.
And it's a low-scoring side. I think it's Sinayoko that scored all their goals, maybe 2 or 3 goals. He's the only one that always gets the chances because they don't push people forward too much. They pack their defense.
Yes.
Now, one of the main players for Senegal is not playing. Starts with a K. What's his name?
Kalidou Koulibaly.
He's not playing. Does he
I
have a
think
red
it's
card or something?
suspension. I think it was suspended or something.
Is he a midfielder?
Yeah, he got a red card.
He got a red card. He's a defender.
Defender. That's going to hurt them a little bit.
Yes,
it's going to hurt them a little bit. But I think Mali will pull it off. Not Mali. Senegal will pull it off. I can see that they're going to have to work hard, though. They're going to have to work hard for their goals and be a little bit careful. But I see them pulling off. And I see Mane playing a big role in this game and directing the forward line to figure out how to break down that stubborn Mali defense. Jackson has disappeared since the first game. What do you think, Afolabi?
Yeah, I think the problem is there's a lot. They're man marking him. They're following him about, so he has to be smart with his movement. But now they realize that the most dangerous player in that front three is Mane, because Mane is playing selflessly. He's not trying to score, but he's trying to set up other players. I think in their last game, he set up like 1 or 2 goals. So I think if they can interchange very smartly, he doesn't stay in one place. He's not static. Because when they notice that... Yes. Right. So if they notice that a number 9 is static, it's easy to follow him about. But if you keep swapping spaces with Ismail Assar and Sadio Mane, it becomes difficult for the centre backs to pick you up. So I feel he'll be more dangerous in this game.
Yeah, I agree. Last thoughts, Sigodi.
No, I think Senegal as well needs to raise their game, because I don't think they were that perfect in the game against Sudan, because Sudan had their chances as well.
Yeah.
If you watch the game
first.
Yeah, Sudan scored first. Senegal scored 2 goals after halftime. Sudan should have made it 2-2. I mean, they were not that really explosive. So
Senegal is weak, and I'm using the word relatively weak in central defense, because Sudan was going right for the center with them. So they have to watch out.
Yes.
For that
I think the best thing Senegal need to do is to start fast and score early. Because for a team that defends like Mali, if they concede early in a knockout stage, they are going to throw all the defensive tactics away and come out. And that can open spaces up for Senegal.
So that's going to be an interesting game. All right, so let's move to the next.